Tonight, hope preserved.
We've got people here who need help and they need housing, and we've got time and a pathway to get there now.
Facing closure, London's House of Hope gets an extension thanks to a donation. Plus, staff warnings.
They're Americanizing our entire public health care system, transferring a lot of public dollars.
Healthcare advocate concerns over ongoing job cuts. And remembering Tommy Hunter.
He was such a dedicated performer to the fans that there's never been anybody like him and never will be.
The late country music star honored in his hometown.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a fiery crash on the 402 near London, which closed part of the highway for much of the day. This is the burned out wreckage of what remained of the tractor trailer's cab. The transport collided with another commercial vehicle in the westbound lanes just east of Longwoods Road around 9 a.m. Police say both drivers involved were taken to hospital, and the lengthy closure was required so the scene could be cleaned up and the potential fire damage assessed.
The tractor portion of the tractor trailer was demolished as a result of both the collision and the fire. Thankfully, both drivers were transported to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
A financial lifeline announced today, keeping London's House of Hope open into next year. As Daryl Newcomb reports, it ensures all 45 residents will avoid a return to homelessness.
Housing, will we continue to work towards the long-term solutions for them?
Mayor Josh Morgan announcing that a donation from the Fund for Change will extend operations at House of Hope through March to ensure none of the 45 formerly homeless residents will be forced back onto the streets.
We've got people here who need help and they need housing, and we've got time and a pathway to get there now.
6 weeks ago, London Cares announced that House of Hope would close in November because Ministry of Health funding had expired. Since then, 30 of 45 residents have been matched with other supportive housing, but are still awaiting a vacancy and intake process. The remaining 15 have yet to secure spaces elsewhere. The Health and Homelessness Fund for Change began with a $25 million donation from an anonymous London family and eventually reached $37.6 million through a donation matching campaign. It's providing $1.3 million to keep House of Hope open until the end of March.
Knowing that their ongoing funding was off the table and that there was a significant portion of the people being displaced, we saw that as disastrous.
The London Community Foundation highlights House of Hope's impact in the community, greatly reducing its residents' ER visits and interactions with police.
We face so much stigma and we face so much negativity most days. To see that people care and to see this type of donation is truly heartwarming and humbling.
House of Hope originally opened to get some of the highest needs individuals off London streets, but that's also making it more challenging to find them appropriate places to live once it closes.
This buys us time to get people the right space and not have to put people on the street. That just makes all of us feel better.
The mayor emphasizes that House of Hope was never directly funded by the Ministry of Health, but received those operating dollars through a partnership with London Health Sciences Centre. He believes future highly supportive housing will be funded through a more traditional model.
There's been 4 different funding partners over the course of this, and it's always cobbling together funds. Permanent, stable Ministry of Health funded dollars is the ultimate goal that the city has.
Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Officials with the Ontario Nurses Association say a tsunami of new job cuts is sweeping through hospitals across the province. That includes nursing cuts announced at London Health Sciences Centre this spring, which will take effect over the next 3 years. With the latest, here's Brian Bicknell.
ONA says it has received notice of hundreds of cuts of registered nurses, nurse practitioners, and other healthcare professionals at long-term care homes and hospitals across the province. And that includes London Health Sciences Centre, where the ONA says 288 nursing positions were cut this past March.
And by eliminating registered nurses from from these workplaces, from these hospitals, they are not going to see an improvement in patient care. They're not going to see an improvement in patient safety. They're going to see the opposite.
According to the ONA, nurses at LHSC filed 269 workload complaint forms in the first 6 months of this year. That compares to 140 in all of last year.
Medications can be delayed. Assessments could be delayed. Patients will not be up and mobile as they once were because the nurses are not there.
The Ontario Health Coalition says public health continues to be dismantled.
They're Americanizing our entire public health care system, transferring a lot of public dollars, $300 million in the latest round, and meanwhile strangulating our hospitals for resources, and that's what's happening. We're losing staff.
In a statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Health calls the ONA claims misguided, saying that the government has added more than 100,000 new nurses since 2018. The statement also said at LHSC, we have increased our investment by over 50% since 2018, funding in addition to the hospital expansion projects. It points out that hospitals are independent corporations responsible for their own day-to-day operations, including human resource matters.
This little blame game that the Ford administration is playing is ridiculous. They are the ones that hold the purse strings.
Meantime, LHSC said in a statement there are no new layoffs at the hospital. Rather, as previously announced, a reduction of 184 full-time equivalent staff through attrition over the next 3 years. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Good evening. We have severe thunderstorms moving through our area tonight. Heavy downpours and strong damaging wind gusts. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect, stretching from Windsor into London, and a severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for eastern Middlesex County in the last minute. We are seeing some of these strong thunderstorms in the area coming into Ingersoll right now with some heavy downpours, and that will be continuing over the next hour. We also have a storm cell in Springfield, Tillsonburg area. We have storm action right across parts of our region, but again, these are just bubbling up in the last couple of hours. Shedden and Fingal under a very heavy storm right now. So again, please heed the weather warnings that are in place. Again, the main threats are torrential downpours and damaging wind gusts. Temperatures are hovering between 21 and 27 degrees. We have a Humidex out here right now feeling close to 35 in London. As we head through the next couple of hours, we'll continue to see these scattered thunderstorms develop. Not everyone will see the rainfall, although I know many of you gardeners and farmers hoping for some rain. It has been extremely dry. But as we head into tonight, the chance for some light rainfall will continue, although the probability will start to drop off, and we could see some fog through the overnight. Coming up, I'll take you through the weekend weather forecast. We're talking beautiful sunshine, but we have to get through your Friday. First, I'll have all your local weather details in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Julie. Health officials in Michigan are reporting an outbreak linked to a parasite causing 1,200 people to fall ill. It's a situation Canadian health officials say they're monitoring, and so far they say it has not crossed the border. But as Adrian Gobriel reports, that might just be a matter of time.
From lettuce to berries, some of these healthy staples found in Canadian kitchens are believed to be carrying a problematic parasite in the United States, where more than 1,000 people have fallen ill and dozens sent to hospital.
This is a parasite that's often transmitted through human feces.
It's called Cyclospora. The microscopic bug can't be seen by the human eye. In some cases, the parasite can be found in lettuce, cilantro, basil, green onions, raspberries, and snow peas, just to name a few. Contaminated water used on crops has previously been linked to Cyclospora. Unlike typical food poisoning, cyclosporiasis symptoms can lead to prolonged stomach issues, relapses, and an illness can also last a month or even longer.
The symptoms include watery diarrhea and explosive diarrhea.
As of this week, Ohio had 177 confirmed cases. Just across state lines, Michigan is reporting more than 1,200 cases. Michigan typically records just about 50 cases a year. The Center for Disease Control says it's monitoring roughly 150 additional patients across 17 U.S. states. The specific source of the outbreak has yet to be identified. An email to CTV News states the Public Health Agency of Canada is not currently investigating any Cyclospora outbreaks in the country. Though with imported fruits and produce regularly crossing the border, the country could face a similar outbreak.
It becomes a race to try and find the actual source of contaminated food.
An additional challenge: once the parasite has latched on to a fruit or vegetable, it can't simply be washed away.
While there's no current outbreak here in Canada, summer travel season is in full swing, and doctors are warning those heading south of the border to try and avoid eating fruits and vegetables from South and Central America, the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, and Africa. Adrian Gobrel, CTV News, Toronto.
Officials with several Midwestern Ontario hospitals are detailing how nearly $12 million in infrastructure funding will be spent. According to officials with hospitals in Huron, Perth, Bruce, and Grey counties, the $11.5 million will be used for roof repairs, new windows, and other necessary renovations. It's part of a $260 million provincial fund split between 126 Ontario hospitals. An undetermined share of that money will also go to hospitals in Owen Sound, Exeter, Wingham, and Stratford. An integrity commissioner investigation has cleared a Sarnia councillor looking into social media posts and whether they contravene the city's code of conduct. Bill Dennis had made comments related to a newly installed Indigenous mural at Sarnia's City Hall. In one of those posts, he had said, "Put that in your pipes and smoke it." The integrity commissioner described Dennis's comments as political speech that merited a political response, but did not violate the code of conduct. A current St. Thomas City Councillor has announced a bid for mayor this fall. Jeff Kohler made the announcement on social media this morning, and he's actually held the St. Thomas mayor's office before, from 2003 to 2006. He's also served 4 terms on City Council. Provincial police have released new information and a documentary in a bid to crack a cold case dating back to 1988. Hannah Schmidt has the latest on their search for answers into the disappearance of Lois Hanna.
I can still see her walking through the crowd, and I don't know how many times I woke up just screaming, "Don't."
She was a daughter and a sister, the only girl in a family with 4 brothers.
She had a wicked sense of humor. She was playful, devious. She loved to play pranks on people.
But on a hot July-long weekend in 1988, 25-year-old Lois Hanna vanished.
I know that this case has followed investigators for decades. It's forefront in people's minds, even though it's been 38 years.
Lois was last seen around 11:45 p.m. on July 3rd after attending a homecoming dance in Lucknow, Ontario. Her brother, Dave, watched her leave the event, but never saw her again. The next morning, Lois didn't show up for work. Concerned, a co-worker went to check on her.
There was one of those really very, very small bathroom windows, the little sliding ones, and it was cracked open just a tiny bit, and so I was able to fit through that window. But as soon as my feet landed in the tub, I was overcome with a sense of dread.
Her purse and her keys were in a sideboard table. She'd turned on her TV. She'd made a cup of tea. We know that she was wearing a specific nightgown and house coat. Those items are missing. There was no evidence of a struggle or anything like that in the home.
2 drops of blood were also found on a wall near the side door. Years later, new techniques led to a new lead.
I believe in 1996, a team of investigators was assigned. There was some new DNA technology that had come out at that time.
The DNA belonged to a male, but has never been matched to a suspect. Still, investigators aren't giving up.
2 years ago, that crime scene index profile was uploaded to the DNA data bank. So that's a significant step forward. That compares itself against the convicted offender index.
Police have spent decades chasing leads, searches stretched across land, water, and air. In just the last 2 years, investigators have completed 45 new interviews, revisited old tips, and conducted additional polygraph examinations. Now they're highlighting 2 details they hope could spark someone's memory. A witness reported seeing a vehicle with distinctive round headlights parked outside Lois's home around 3 a.m.
We're releasing that information now because we really hope that somebody who has some information about that vehicle will come forward and provide us with a couple pieces to the puzzle.
Police say another credible witness reported hearing suspicious activity at nearby Kincardine Harbor around the same time.
Things get woven into this fabric of memory that people bring forward to us in tips year after year after year. Those people have been very reliable over the years. And again, we saw this as an opportunity to bring this information to the broader public.
Both clues have lingered for decades.
We're sitting here in our childhood home just feeling homesick because Lois isn't here.
For Lois's brothers, the search has never ended. Nearly 4 decades later, they say all they want is to bring their sister home.
Hannah Schmidt, CTV News.
The man who pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the death of an Owen Sound restaurant owner is expected to learn his sentence tomorrow. Robert Evans Jr., along with his father and uncle, pleaded guilty for their roles in the death of Sharif Rahman. The court heard Rahman died from his injuries suffered when he was punched by Evans Jr., who was attempting to dine and dash. Evans Jr. pleaded guilty to manslaughter, while his father and uncle pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact for helping him flee the country. All three are Scottish nationals who have been serving time in pretrial custody here in Canada. A public visitation today for London-born country music star Tommy Hunter. A collection of Hunter's accolades were on display near his casket, including his contributions to music in Canada. He hosted the Tommy Hunter Show for 27 years on Canadian television, jump-starting the careers of many country artists. Hunter's loved ones say he was proud of the image he cultivated for himself right up until his death last week at the age of 89.
It's just been an incredible outpouring, and it surprised me, you know, because my dad passed away at 89, and a lot of his fan base was his age as well. So I wasn't expecting the incredible outpouring.
He was such a dedicated performer to the fans that there's never been anybody like him and never will be. I mean, he'd often say, I hope people remember me and I haven't been forgotten. And when one of the news articles last week received 390,000 views, I knew he hasn't been forgotten at all.
Sunfest is back this weekend in Victoria Park, downtown London's summer tradition. And for more on the 4-day music festival getting underway, we're joined live by Nick Paparella from Victoria Park. Nick, over to you.
Hey. Yeah, Carlyle, you know, the biggest party of the summer is on right now here at Victoria Park. Sunfest 2026 has kicked off, and I'm joined now by my muchacho, the artistic co-artistic director of Sunfest, and Alfredo, tell me, I mean, such a wonderful celebration of life every year for 32 years here at Victoria Park.
Yeah, this is a tremendous accomplishment, Nick. We are so happy that every single year we bring the whole world to this community, you know, by presenting incredible groups, by bringing people from all over the world to have a truly celebration of life. That's what Sunfest is all about, a beautiful expression of community. And this particular year, we are so excited because we're bringing more than 30 international groups.
Okay, and tell us that, and also some national groups as well.
Absolutely. In total, we have the largest lineup ever, 51 groups between nationals and internationals. And today we have with us, you know, just to have a segment, a taste of what is going to happen, an amazing group that has come from Ecuador for the very first time performing here at London Sunfest, Chus Kupura.
All right, Chus Kupura, here we go. And if you want to hear more, they'll be performing tonight as well as Sunday. Carlisle's Sunfest 2026 is here. It's on until Sunday night.
Nick Paparella live for us tonight. Thank you, Nick. When we come back, Canadian cooperation with Saudi Arabia. Details on a rare prime minister's visit and the new deals he signed. Plus, the price at the pump going back up. The latest violence in Iran, more uncertainty for the oil market. Welcome back. The Prime Minister is in Saudi Arabia discussing trade and investment opportunities. Multiple agreements were signed, including a critical minerals partnership. But as Graham Richardson reports, the Saudis' record on human rights was also acknowledged.
A first in decades, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney meets with Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. This short trip was about connections, trade, and the similarities between two very different countries.
Canadian and Saudi businesses have signed 13 new commercial agreements across education, critical minerals and mining, energy, infrastructure, security, artificial intelligence.
In French, Carney said he raised human rights with the Crown Prince, but called it a private conversation. And he made clear this is the way he will be managing these kinds of relationships around the world.
I do see that lecturing countries from afar is an ineffective strategy. It's satisfying, but it's ineffective.
Earlier in the day, Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said she did raise human rights with her counterpart.
I always raise Canadian values. That's what my role is. That's what our role is as a government.
Carney also addressed the unusual gift of the gun all leaders received at NATO. The engraved revolver came with live ammunition, a gift from the Turkish president.
I would like to reassure Canadians they keep guns away from me. So I never saw it. It's with the RCMP. It's been decommissioned because it's not a legal firearm in Canada. And I certainly don't have a license for it.
When asked directly about conversations at NATO with Donald Trump about the United States and trade, Carney gave unusually short and curt answers, shutting it down right away. Of the still closed Gordie Howe Bridge, he said Canada was only willing to clarify current arrangements. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
American and Iranian forces exchanged more attacks today, ratcheting up a new phase of fighting.
I say we hit them 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20.
American authorities say they struck 90 targets overnight. Iranian state media reported explosions along the country's southern coast. According to Iran's health ministry, 14 people were killed over the 2 nights of bombing. In response, Iranian officials say they launched drones and missiles at U.S. allies in the Gulf, including Kuwait and Qatar. American authorities have claimed their strikes are meant to protect shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The escalating conflict overseas prompted gas prices to jump, the biggest one-day increase in weeks. With more on that, here's Garrett Berry.
Commuters in St. John's have been paying high prices, like almost $1.87 per liter, ever since this spring. But with more strikes in the Middle East today, those high prices could be coming to gas stations right across the country.
Maybe more transit, maybe people more walking, more bicycles. At over $2 a liter. You got to think about that.
It's hard to hide from soaring gas prices in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Walking is a good thing, but a lot of things you can't get to walking. So, we are very car dependent.
And some just don't bother trying to save at the pumps anymore.
The truck is 140 liters, so it's an expense to fill it up. And people say, well, maybe you shouldn't drive a pickup, but
relief is nowhere in sight. In fact, analyst Dan McTague and his Canadians for Affordable Energy group is expecting a 5-cent price hike on average across the country tomorrow. Uncertainty about shipping through the Strait of Hormuz is partially to blame.
It's really crazy. The oil came down big time and the gas came down a fraction, and then as soon as it goes up a penny, it goes up $1.
Taxi drivers know it well.
At the end of the day, we fill up on a 12-hour shift, and that's usually a tank of gas, sometimes more.
And that nightly fill-up is climbing.
Yes, now you're looking at about $80 a tank compared to, I think it was $50 maybe last year.
A few more days like this, and gas could hit the $2 per liter mark in this city. Some of the drivers that we spoke to today said that eye-opening price would force them to reconsider their summer plans. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Back on the desk now with Julie Atchison. And Julie, we checked in with Nick down at Victoria Park. It's night one of Sunfest. I know tonight, chance for maybe a rainy start to the festival, but the weekend you mentioned looking pretty good?
The weekend looks awesome. Yeah, just an absolutely beautiful weekend setting up. But we have some severe weather moving through the area this evening, and that severe thunderstorm warning now moving east towards Oxford County, so in eastern Middlesex. This storm is bringing some heavy amounts of rainfall to areas just east of London. It's moving about 50 to 60 clicks. And in terms of bringing some torrential downpours, these storms are packing a punch with some heavy rainfall right now moving through southern Oxford County, as you can see. And we're not out of the woods just yet. We do have some more on the way for tonight. So you can see that radar is a bit of a mess with scattered showers and thunderstorms. I can't even name all the counties tonight for you. 29 degrees our high today, 19 degrees our low. Temperature coming in hot this afternoon and feeling like the mid-30s. At the London airport, the temperature now 24 degrees, so dipping just a bit, and the winds on the hour out of the north-northeast. So all of this action is in advance of a stationary front. Becoming a bit of a cold front as it starts to move southward, but it's taking its time, and that's why we're seeing all of this active weather fire up in advance of it. Now, we do have some showers along that boundary. Again, that will be continuing over the next few hours. As we push towards midnight, the threat of severe weather will end, and we'll still have the risk for showers overnight. Now, heading across the country, lots of weather to talk about tonight. Everything from severe thunderstorms moving across the southern prairies to air quality advisories in Western Canada dealing with some smoke from some forest fires. And then as we edge closer, we've even had tornado warnings today in parts of southern Manitoba. Now, this is the forest fire smoke. We're getting into that season where we are unfortunately starting to see some forest fires in areas of Western Canada. And this is indicating the black carbon. As you can see, in those areas are under special weather statements for poor air quality. Overnight in London, we'll dip down to about 19 degrees, Midwestern Ontario between 18 and 19. If you're near the lakeshore of Erie or Huron, 20 to 21. So pushing toward 8 o'clock tonight, there'll still be some storms, especially through eastern Lambton County, coming into Chatham, Kent, and brushing by London. So areas like Strathroy, Kamoka, you could see some thunderstorms pushing through tonight still. So if you haven't picked up anything yet, there's still the chance you will see some storms. By Friday morning, showers and thunderstorms continuing towards Essex County, brushing by Chatham as well. It's this boundary that will be sinking southward, and it is close enough that you could see some action fire. We'll get into a nice mix of sun and cloud through the better part of the day, and there is the risk for a spotty shower. Heading into the afternoon, it looks like the majority of the rainfall will be just south of London. So Elgin County, you'll have some showers through the afternoon, and it'll be hit and miss over London. But we'll see cloudy with sunny breaks and just a slight chance for showers. That probability just a 40% chance. Can't rule out a thunderstorm. If you are heading to Sunfest tomorrow, you can expect mainly cloudy conditions in the morning. By the afternoon, when things start to get rolling, about 24 degrees, and then we'll take the forecast high to 26. Can't rule out a thunderstorm, but you saw that forecast model. Nothing like we're seeing out there this evening. Saturday and Sunday, back-to-back days of full sunshine. We'll hit 28 degrees. It is going to be one of those gorgeous weekends. Conditions across our region, upper 20s and feeling like the low to mid 30s. And then we're in for a wave of heat next week. Unfortunately for some, we are expecting temperatures to climb to 30, 31. By Tuesday, it will feel close to 40. It is going to get extremely hot and humid next week. This is your warning, so just be prepared. We are expecting another wave to move in. And in terms of humidity, it will be quite intense next week, starting Tuesday into Wednesday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms winding down overnight. Watch for fog through the overnight and first thing tomorrow morning. And then as we head toward the weekend, back-to-back days of sunshine, temperatures right where we should be, Carlyle, for this time of year. We'll enjoy some beautiful summer weather before we get into the blast furnace next week. We'll push that off for just a bit and focus on this gorgeous weekend that's setting up right across southern Ontario.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, hidden health risks in everyday rice. New research revealing detectable levels of arsenic widespread among products in Canada.
We are officially 1 week away from the best night of the summer. We've got Pure Country Night at Rock the Park coming up next Thursday.
And we got tickets at 8:35 tomorrow morning. Good luck.
WestJet flight attendants are in the middle of voting on a strike mandate. Talks between the union and airline have been ongoing for 10 months. The main sticking point is how cabin crews are paid. According to union leaders, flight attendants provide an average of 35 hours of unpaid labor each month. They say a vote in favor of a strike mandate would give them more leverage at the bargaining table. The earliest workers could strike would be August 2nd. Food safety experts are issuing a warning over the levels of a potentially dangerous heavy metal found in rice products. With more on their findings and how to lower your risk, here's Pat Foran.
From sushi to stir-fry to simple sides, we eat a lot of rice. But Consumer Reports says rice can carry a risk. Inorganic arsenic, a dangerous form of a heavy metal and known carcinogen.
Inorganic arsenic especially is associated with some serious health effects. We know that it's associated with skin cancer, bladder cancer, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular effects.
Consumer Reports bought 52 rice products from store shelves, then sent them to a specialized lab for testing.
We detected measurable levels of arsenic, and specifically inorganic arsenic, in every sample of rice that we tested.
The levels vary. For example, brown rice in general has more inorganic arsenic than white rice of the same type. Basmati and sushi rice tend to have less arsenic than other types. And more than 40% of the tested products had enough arsenic that eating just one serving a day over time could raise the risk of cancer and type 2 diabetes. Several brands like Lundberg and Whole Foods told Consumer Reports they test for heavy metals, but many other companies didn't respond. According to Health Canada, the concentrations of arsenic in foods sold in Canada are low and have been stable for many years. However, it says to reduce exposure to arsenic, you should eat a variety of healthy foods each day, vary the types of whole grains in your diet, and cook rice in extra water, drain the rice, and throw out the cooking water. Consumer Reports agrees and says you should cook rice in extra water for 5 minutes, then drain it and finish it in fresh water, as this can significantly reduce arsenic levels. Bottom line, don't overeat rice. Use different sides from time to time, including quinoa and oats, which tests show are lower in arsenic. And when choosing rice, consider lower arsenic varieties like basmati and sushi. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Stock markets rose today as easing oil prices brought more calm to financial markets. In Toronto, the TSX gained 265 points. In New York, the Dow added 139. The Nasdaq is up 336. The Canadian dollar added a modest 0.03 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold climbed nearly $60 an ounce. Oil lost $1.44 a barrel. When we come back, we'll go back in time. A look at London's history when building codes were ignored with tragic consequences. Welcome back. We are premiering a new episode of our series looking back on our city's 2 centuries of history. Tonight, 2 deadly tragedies at the turn of the last century. This is London 200 with Sean Irvin.
This building at 197 Dundas Street in the heart of downtown London stands on the site of one of London's greatest disasters.
But before this building went up, another structure stood here until a fateful day, July 16th, 1907.
That afternoon, Reed's Crystal Hall came crashing down in a moment of life-ending terror captured in the story of Blanche Westlake.
All of a sudden, the floor gave way beneath her, and she made this terrific lunge and managed to grab the side of a window ledge and was hanging on for dear life, screaming for help because the building collapsed onto the road.
The tragedy that would play out that afternoon was the result of civic ignorance throughout the Victorian era and into the new century. London politicians had been reactionary, not proactive when it came to building codes.
The first building code in London came about in 1845 because of the Great Fire. Most buildings in London are wood. We're now going to do brick.
But while perhaps better constructed, there was no one at City Hall to perform regular inspections.
And that led to a tragic irony right here at this spot, the former home of civic governance in the Forest City.
In the late 1890s, London Mayor John Little expanded his office inside City Hall on the west side of Richmond Street between Dundas and King.
He tears out a load-bearing wall and puts in a wood beam, and they ignore their own building codes.
The beam was placed right below the auditorium. Fast forward to election night, January 2nd, 1898. 500 people are celebrating the election win of soon-to-be Mayor John Wilson.
They were very, very excited. They crammed into the building.
Ken McTaggart, who wrote the book London's Darkest Hours, recalls that in an instant, excitement turned to terror as the floor gave out.
Then all of a sudden, boom, down came everything, and that was the end of the deal. People were crushed.
The aftermath was ghastly.
They were picking up bodies of people and just piled on top of each other. It was horrendous.
23 people died, but many, many others were grievously injured.
But it's curious that they don't say for sure, which means the death count's probably higher. One of the most horrible deaths was a man whose last name was Burridge. His head was caved in by the safe, and he was a survivor of the Victoria boat disaster.
An inquest would recommend that a building inspector be put in place.
They promised to hire one in 1898, but they never did.
And that decision would again prove fatal back here at this spot. And this time, Londoners would have no choice but to act.
Reed's Crystal Hall on the south side of Dundas between Clarence and Richmond had served its owner well for decades. But a new tenant was preparing to open a billiard hall on the main floor. He hired himself as the contractor.
He put a window here, and then he put a window here, and then underneath he put another window. So there's no row of bricks.
Even though his workers had been saying, we do not advise that you should do this. We don't think it's a good idea.
But the renovations went on, and Reed's continued to operate on the floors above. Then, shortly after 4 p.m., July 16th, 1907, breaks in the plaster began to appear.
When the cracks started showing up, somebody just pointed and said casually, "Oh, look at that," and laughed it off. And somebody else pointed at it, and then suddenly another crack showed up, and a few more cracks showed up, and people started getting a little interested.
At 4:12 p.m., disaster struck.
All of a sudden, boom, down came everything, and that was the end of the deal.
There were many crying out for help inside the wreckage, including a woman with her baby. Many were saved throughout the night, but rescuers could not get to everyone in time.
Somebody singing Nearer to My God than Thee in the rubble, and then that person stopped singing and they knew they were too late.
By morning, the death toll had reached 7. Some died in a neighboring store, others on the street front. It didn't take long for London to be dubbed a disaster capital, with newspaper editors calling for immediate action.
2 days later, the Toronto Star is publishing an article from an insurance inspector who claims there are 50 unsafe buildings in London.
Although it has been a century since the collapse, today's Londoners can relate to the past. The Teeple Terrace disaster and the lives it claimed remains fresh in our minds.
You leave work or you leave home at the beginning of the day, you expect to go home. And when that doesn't happen, it's always a tragedy.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A fantastic capture to share with you this evening. Thank you so much, John, for sending in this photograph. John has been taking a number of photos of the bald eagles, and this was one of my favorites that he sent in. Lots of sunshine in the forecast this weekend, and the heat is on next week. Tuesday, the forecast high set to climb above 30 degrees, and it will feel like 40. It looks like we will have 3 to 4 days of 30-plus degree temperatures.
Members of a local Indigenous group are pushing back on the federal government's national nuclear energy plan. Leaders with the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation say they should have been included in that plan's development. Their territory encompasses the Bruce Power nuclear plant. The federal government has indicated as many as 10 new reactors could start construction in the next decade, which could include 4 at the Bruce site. In a statement, the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation chiefs say they've written the Prime Minister indicating they will not endorse any more reactors in their territory without meaningful discussions on Indigenous rights. The London Fire Department is hosting a training program this week, offering high school students a chance to learn about the job with hands-on experience. The program is in its 10th year, accepting candidates from a field of more than 50 young women and gender-diverse youth. Exercises include fire suppression, investigating, and dispatch.
We are very proud to say that we were the second program in all of Ontario. We had other departments come and witness what we developed here, and they took it to their department. So quite a bit of flattery going on when they take it and run with their own program.
I want to do a job where I help people in the future, and firefighting is big on that. It's like teamwork, like sports are and things. I was like, seems really cool. But it is very physical. Like every morning we're doing a workout, legs. Ooh.
So is this something you want to do, Ella?
Yeah, definitely.
The music world is mourning the death of singer Bonnie Tyler.
Now I'm only falling apart. There's nothing I can do, a total eclipse of the heart.
Tyler was born in Wales, and she was best known for her 1983 hit Total Eclipse of the Heart, which spent a month on top of the U.S. charts. Tyler was a 3-time Grammy Award nominee. Her representatives say she had recently undergone surgery in Portugal, where she died. Bonnie Tyler was 75 years old.
It's time for your summer fun London list. We're joined by Weaver from Afternoons on Pure Country. Weaver, I'm excited for the weekend. This time of year, so many events going on, so many things to get to. So what can we look forward to?
Well, I'm personally looking forward to Misery at the Huron Country Playhouse. It's a Stephen King book and movie, but it's also a play, and they're doing a great job at the Huron Country Playhouse with it. Grab your tickets while you still can. That runs through July 18th.
Are you a big Stephen King fan?
A huge Stephen King fan. The Dark Tower series is one of my favorites.
Okay, sounds like it's going to be a great show. Heading downtown London this weekend, TD Sunfest.
Talk about a great show. TD Sunfest, one of my absolute favorites. You get bands from all across the world with foods from all across the world, and you bring them to one centralized location? Tell me more! Sunfest, it's free by donation as always, so I hope to see everybody out.
Well, there'll be lots of singing and dancing going on at Sunfest, of course. If you are in for perhaps a chiller kind of night, there's also movies in the park.
Yeah, Mufasa the Lion King. So the prequel, that's also kind of a sequel.
Right.
Don't think about it too much, but they're going to be showing that at Gibbons Park under the stars, which is always just an enjoyable event for the family.
All right, and Paw Patrol, there's a lot of things for the kids this weekend.
Yeah, if you go to White Oaks Mall, Center Court, Paw Patrol is going to be there doing a meet and greet with the kids. Marshall and Sky. I'm not a huge Paw Patrol guy, but from what I'm told, those are very popular characters, so the kids should be losing their minds when they see them. It should be fun.
And there's also something for the kids downtown.
Yeah, Ultimates. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but basically it's cats and dogs that have been in movies and television shows.
Oh, yes.
And then they do the stunts they do on TV for you at Covent Garden Market this Sunday. And that includes driving little miniature cars, doing handstands, you know, some of the stuff that I can't even do, these pets are going to do. So absolutely free and worth your time for sure.
That sounds so fun. I actually would love to see some sort of animal riding any kind of vehicle. One wheel, two wheels, doesn't matter. I think that just sounds fun. All right, are we going to wrap it up with anything else?
Well, if you're looking for more stuff to do next week, don't forget about Beat the Heat Tuesdays. Virgin Radio, Pure Country, we're putting this on with East Park London, and you can have big savings for their water park passes when you buy online on Tuesdays, so make sure you put that on your radar. We'll be back there live on August 11th.
Okay, fantastic. I love it. Water park fun. We have perfect summer weather to hit those slides at East Park. That's your London list with Weaver, and we'll see you next time.
Finally tonight, a rare document more than 1,000 years old under librarian care in Montreal. Angela McKenzie has more on the team responsible for these invaluable ancient artifacts.
There are thousands of books carefully preserved in the Université de Montréal's Rare Books and Special Collections Library. These boxes contain 8 precious new editions.
When they arrived at the library, it was like like Christmas.
Librarian Mathieu Thomas says thanks to an endowment fund, they were able to purchase rare items like this piece of parchment. It's a fragment of a manuscript written in Latin on animal skin from around the year 900, the time of Charlemagne. It's an exciting discovery for medieval studies professor Francis Gingras.
They used old parchment to bind new books because they thought the text was not interesting. But that way we've kept some very old fragments of parchments.
It's one of the oldest documents being preserved in a Montreal university.
The fact that it's in such good condition, and you can really see it's the origin of our current script, the way we write.
Like here, we have a very old, I think in French we call it psautier.
The new acquisitions include this illuminated psalter from 13th century France, containing parts of the Bible and an impressive volume of anatomy books from 1866.
Some of the images are pretty gruesome.
But before photography, these precise illustrations were a valuable tool for teaching medicine. Gingras says researchers can bring these documents to life, making it essential to preserve them in a library rather than a museum or private collection.
I've traveled a lot to see these manuscripts, to see books like that, and to know that now Montreal can also welcome researchers doing the same work. It's a form of pride.
And for students, it can be an antidote to an increasingly digital world.
Some of them are like, I can't wait to tell my parents that today I touched a book from the 14th century.
The library also offers guided tours to the public once a month, so everyone can get close to unique fragments of history. Angela Mackenzie, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.